Friday here, French and Friends, 1590 WCGO. Brian Schafer joins us, 1090 Brewing Company website. 10, spell it out. Spell both of them out. 10-90.com. And Pete, our friend Pete here, sales manager here at the station, said, I'm not going to say anything. And as soon as we go on the air, he immediately starts asking questions.
He wants
of Mr.
to do
Schafer.
the interview.
How are you, Brian?
I'm outstanding.
Looking great, man. You feeling great?
I feel like $100.
Okay, well, it's funny. We were talking about, hey, you excited to go back and see the game? And the answer is yes, but apparently for entirely different reasons than we are excited to see it. Not to see the Cubs win. Where are you from, Brian?
I was born in San Francisco.
Ah, nice town. I hear it's a fine town. So we do have a Giants fan in the house, and that's okay. It's good to be buddies with the enemy. You know,
Exactly.
We
actually have somebody to talk smack to when the Cubs beat them in 4 games.
Yeah, we hope so. We hope so. Hey, Brian.
That is funny because we're already up 2-1 because we're splitting here, and then Bumgarner.
I know. Then it's a 2-1 right there.
Hey, Brian Schafer, 1090 Brewing Company. A lot of people are really freaked out about this game. A lot of Cubs faithful for that reason precisely. I think we're just thinking that it's doomed, the curse may be real, something like that, because we drew the team we absolutely did not want to draw.
Sure, it's 2016.
Yeah?
We win every even year.
The even years. Going how many years now?
Since
this will be 4.
Oh my gosh.
We've got 3 championships in the past since 2010.
Unbelievable.
And I say we, like I was instrumentally part of that.
Isn't that funny? Because we can say we all the time, as if we are. We do that collectively. We're part of the team. Are the fans really part? Are the fans really part of the team? You know.
Well, I mean, we're supporting it.
I think it's okay if you say we when you lose and win.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we say, man, we really messed it up last night. Okay, at least you're also putting yourself under the bus.
No, it's those guys.
You're supporting them financially. If you didn't buy the jerseys or go to the games, then they'd be picking up and moving to a city where the fans would do that.
Let us find common ground immediately, beyond just the game of baseball. I think we're holding it in our hands.
Oh, that's it.
Beer. Brian Schafer, are you the brewmaster?
I am.
Okay, Brewmaster. We're drinking Oktoberfest here from 1090 at the moment. Tell us about this, and I'll give you my one-word review, delicious, and then you tell me a little bit more, something more technical than that. What are we drinking?
Well, thank you. This is what we call fest beer. So this is something that is served traditionally at the Oktoberfest festival.
Now, I don't know much about beer other than I know it when I like it. I know when I like it. And these guys, Sonar, here that you've met, and Kevin, they're beer freaks. So they will know way more about the technical side of beer than I ever
So we were
would.
talking a little bit before the show about who has time to really drink lagers. And and unbeknownst to me, you brought in an Oktoberfest, which is a little on the lager side.
Well, there's a reason for that.
How close is it to a lager as opposed to the ale? Because it's almost right there in the middle.
It's a lager.
Okay.
Yeah, it's we use our Oktoberfest beers are brewed with a lager yeast. We use a yeast from Augustiner, which is the oldest brewery in Munich, and it's brewed with 100% Munich malt. So this is a traditional Oktoberfest beer that you would find in a tent during Oktoberfest.
And it has a little bit of that sweetness to it as well.
Yeah.
That's the Munich malt. You've got that nice sweet malt character that just shines through.
Now, is this a beer that you do every Oktoberfest, or did you brew this special for the downtown Evanston Oktoberfest next Sunday, October the 16th?
This is our first Oktoberfest beer.
Nice.
Really?
First one we brewed ever. Yeah.
I certainly hope it's not your last. This is delicious. It's light. It's good. I think I'd compare it a little bit to the Sam Adams Oktoberfest that they have. This one has a little bit more. It's a different taste. Like you said, Sonar, it's a little bit sweeter, I think.
Yeah, it's got a sweet finish to it.
Yes.
That's what I really like about it. Is it's got that little bit of a sweet twist at the end.
Yeah, a lot of American versions of Oktoberfest, they make it a bit more amber and darker than the traditional fest beer. We opted to go the traditional route.
Okay.
So have you been with 1090 since the beginning?
I have.
Oh, is this your operation?
It is.
Okay,
Nice.
he's the boss man here. So let me get. Did you travel to Munich? You traveled to Germany to get these ingredients? You started there. Did you go on a quest when you started? The
I was
business?
at the 200th Oktoberfest
Awesome.
in 2010. So Oktoberfest is a celebration of a wedding.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Whose wedding?
Crown Prince Ludwig.
Of course, it was Ludwig. It was either Helmut or Ludwig, right? No, very cool.
So it was a wedding party that lasted for 2 weeks, and they kept it up every year.
It was such a
There was an
legendary
open bar.
Yeah, it was such a legendary party that it's just become an institution.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But then the Germans and how calculated they are decided October the weather's not so great, so let's push it up 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's why it starts in September now.
Yeah, I've always wondered that. There we go.
It makes
They
sense.
adjusted the dates because it's nicer to drink beer outside in September than it is in mid-October.
Yeah, especially in Germany as well.
So this is your first Oktoberfest that 1090 has ever brewed. How many batches did you have to do before you got the taste just where you wanted it? One.
It's just this
First
one.
take.
Knocked it out of the park.
Like Daniel doing commercials.
Wow.
One take.
That's right. Let me ask you the reason. How long have you been brewing beer now?
Professionally, 3 years.
3 years, but before that, I'm sure you did a lot of home
We're
brewing.
home brewing for about a decade.
Oh, okay. So do you have it down more science than art at this point?
Sure.
Oh, cool. You math guy?
I was in corporate finance before starting a brewery.
And then you were doing that and brewing beer at home, and then you just said, forget this, I'm going to go full scale?
Yes. I wasn't fulfilled professionally. I was a chief financial officer for 6 years,
Okay.
and decided, you know what, I want to own my own company. I knew that when I was in business school, and just married the passion of craft beer, and decided to start a brewery.
I don't even think you're 40 yet. This guy ain't even 40. Look at this. What a success story. What are we doing in radio?
Where does 1090 come from?
Yes, sir.
The name is that some sort of temperature, or how are those numbers?
The name,
police code?
It's a brewing reference, chemistry reference. It's the specific gravity of our first 4 beers.
Oh, okay.
So first 4 beers are 1090 or higher starting gravity. So a beer with a 1090 starting gravity produces between 10 and 11% ABV beers.
Oh, my gosh.
So they're all big beers.
How much alcohol is in this beer right here?
This one's a lot lower. This is about 6.5.
Okay, and that seems to be around the average range of a lot of craft beers these days.
Sure. Yep.
And why is that? Do we do that on purpose? Do craft beer brewers do that on purpose? Because you don't run into one that's, or is it just a response to the watered down beer that we're used to as Americans? You want a little more.
Well, if you look back at the evolution of craft beers, and the IPAs were some of the forerunners. IPAs, you need a strong malt backbone to balance out the bitterness of the hops. The more malt, the higher fermentable sugars, the more alcohol. So
it's
they
just the
kind of went
byproduct.
hand in hand.
Yeah, the byproducts of the taste that you're in search of. Really fascinating stuff.
Thank you, sir.
So you mentioned the beginnings or the origins of the craft brewery movement in the United States. When is that? Can we kind of pinpoint when that started happening?
Some would say back in the late 60s when Fitz Maytag purchased Anchor Brewing in San Francisco.
And the one, I'm sure they have quite a number of beers, but the one that I remember from my younger days was Anchor Steam. It was a big deal when you could get Anchor Steam where I was growing up down south.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a pretty cool guy and had a couple extra bucks when you brought Anchor Steam to the party. So that was the man. Have we caught up with countries like Germany as far as our sophistication in brewing and drinking beer? Are we there? Are we world leaders yet?
Oh, we've surpassed them.
Oh,
USA. USA.
it is so silly to say, but no, that's good. And I want. Is that because so many people are doing it by virtue of just how many are at it? Or
It's all about the innovation. The United States, our history is all about innovation and taking new ideas and running with them, and that's what we've done here with the craft beer movement. Some people argue Germany A lot more would argue Belgium. Of course. We're better brewers. You look at the Belgians, they're coming here for inspiration and
Learn
ideas.
from us.
Exactly.
And now I am the master.
Do you think it's IPA that has really spearheaded that movement? Because usually for most craft breweries, their IPA is the crown jewel, and then they flank off of that.
The IPA is the #1 segment in craft beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That taste.
that by default is where a lot of breweries are
Go ahead.
trying to make their mark.
And what is the scale called that measures the hoppiness of
Oh, yeah.
an IPA or of beer in general?
They're called International Bittering Units.
That's what
IBU.
it is. So, and you also brought us an IPA here, which I love the name of it, 90 Feet from Heaven. It's a great baseball reference. What is the level of that?
Of alcohol?
The IBUs?
Yeah, the IBUs.
The IBUs are 93.
Okay.
So it's a big,
That's
bold, hoppy beer. But the funny thing about IBUs is it's a perception. A great analogy is thinking of sour and like lemonade.
Okay.
If you take and squeeze lemons into a cup and drink it, it's
brutal.
It's not potable for most people.
No.
Yeah.
You dump sugar into it and make lemonade, and it's all right. This tastes great. Guess what? The sourness, the pH, didn't change by adding sugar. It's the same sour as the pure lemon juice.
Okay.
So adding the sugar balances out, and it tricks your brain into thinking, "Oh, this isn't that sour. This is sweet and sour together. This tastes awesome." Our IPA, it's 93 IBUs, but we have a really strong malt backbone that counterbalances that bitterness, so it drinks more like a 50 to 60 IBU beer.
And you said
wow.
roasting the malt actually adds a bit more sugar to it? Is that what you said earlier?
No.
No, it goes
I
the
did
other
not
way? Well, great. I'll just be here in the corner then.
Have a little drink.
We'll set him straight.
Now, 1090, how long has the brewery been open? You said about 3 years?
3 years we've been producing beer.
And
Yeah.
wait, where are you
But-
guys? Because I never got that. I'm sorry to interrupt. but
We are now in Glenview, Illinois. We
Glenview.
are proud to be our home there in Glenview, and we've got a tap room. We opened there 5 months ago.
You opened the
Nice.
tap room 5 months ago.
Tap room, yeah, in Glenview.
How did you distribute your beer before the tap room? You just had bars, local bars around Glenview?
And the city, all throughout the Chicagoland area.
what are some of your partners? Who are some of your partners in the city? What are some bars we may know? We've been around. Look at these guys. I mean, come on.
Sure. We've been in the Hop Leaf, Sheffield.
That's one of my neighborhood joints. Yeah, yeah, very cool. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, what are you going to be pouring next week?
We will have the Oktoberfest,
Of course.
Okay.
And as you asked that, the next beer that we'll try, 90 Feet from Heaven, we're donating a keg of that to the Hop Leaf for their Kegs for Kids.
Oh, Kegs for Kids. That benefits my son's school. Or maybe it's more than one school, but yeah, my son goes to Pierce down there
Well,
in
you're
Andersonville.
welcome.
we should talk.
Guys, let me tell you, that is a huge event, and the parents eat it up. Well, drink it up. Totally.
I have never heard of it. We should check that out.
Well, why don't you go with me? I imagine you'll be there, perhaps, maybe. At least his beer will be.
Yes.
In spirits, he'll be there, so to speak. Okay, 90 Feet from Heaven. 1090.com is the website. TEN-90. Spell it out. NINEETY.com. What do you think the future is? Kevin and I were discussing this one night, and Sonar was in on this too, is we can't foresee an end to IPAs, but sooner or later you would think, the way that we are as Americans, it's going to get old, and we're going to be seeking something else, although maybe not. Maybe it's like barbecue, and we'll just love it forever, and I hope so. But what do you... Okay, I guess an easier way to
I
say
was
this...
just going to say, did pizza go out of style? Or tacos terrible? No.
No.
Well, I think what Dan's asking, what we've talked about, what's the... and I think we may have to wait till the next segment to get this answer, but what is the next evolution of craft beer? What are people going to be coming out with and brewing next?
Yeah, so hang on to that question, or the answer to that question. We'll do it in just a minute. Brian Schafer is our guest, 1090 Brewing Company. You can see them in Glenview and bars all throughout the city, 10-90.com. And you guys are going to be in Evanston next week, Kevin?
Yes, at downtown Evanston, Oktoberfest. 1090s, or 1590 is going to be there. 1090 is going to be there. It's going to be a great time. Go to downstownevanston.org for more information.
Brilliant. And what
20.
day is that? Saturday, Sunday?
Sunday, October the 16th.
Sunday. Thank you. Sunday, October the 16th. We'll do it. French Friends, 1590 WCGO. More coming up.
Inside, drinking wine with his mates. He hurries for cover and he cringes in fear. It's no place for a dog round a pub with no beer.
And I don't remember much.
So you had a good time.
So there's several tents, right?
Yes.
They're all gigantic tents, and you just drink, and it goes down easy. But then the thing is, they had rides outside the town. I don't know
Yes.
when you went if they still had the
Oh,
rides.
yeah.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You're drinking all day.
That doesn't sound good at all.
Those are for the kids, Pete. Seriously.
Your ride is drinking too much.
You're not supposed
stumbling.
to drink all day and then go on the rides.
It's like those kids from the Sandlot when they get to chewing tobacco.
Oh, my
God.
Big Chief, the best.
So who we got tonight? Cueto and Lester?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, can I have
Once
a
more?
little bit
Sure.
more of
Oh,
that?
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll crack open the 90 feet from heaven
Which one's
tonight.
that? Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Thanks.
Yeah, French, you were talking about IPAs
Thank you.
going out of style, man.
I don't think going
I hope
out
that
of
never
style.
happens.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
I
he-
hope it doesn't happen too.
No,
But
no, it's just that's what we were talking about is the evolution
something else
of
is
craft.
going to catch
I want
fire sooner
people-
or later.
Yeah, like lagers and ales are still drinking every day.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
we haven't
that's
stopped.
the two sides of the
Yeah.
spectrum.
And
but
people are getting into the nitro thing now, which
yeah,
The only
Nitro's a
let's
little
ask
smoother
on
to
air
me.
because
It's
the
a-
only
oh, yeah,
experience I have with nitro is Guinness is supposed to be poured with nitro. That's all I know.
you go to
Supposedly.
Evans Pub in what is that on Sherman?
yeah.
They've actually got a nitro pour for their Guinness.
Yeah.
We're
We're
a lot of
also
places.
still
Although I like
Nitrogen.
Murphy's.
Oh my
I like
gosh.
Murphy's
Yeah,
It's
better.
beautiful.
mostly mixed with nitrogen. So your typical tap is 60% CO2, 40% nitrogen.
I hope the people at home can see this
Yeah.
beautiful color.
I
A
got it.
nitro
this
tap
IPA.
does 75% nitrogen,
Oh my gosh.
25% CO2.
Do you like nitros?
I do.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got 2 nitro taps in the tap room.
Good. We'll talk about this.
Yeah.
That's
Because I'm not sold on. I'm not a huge fan of the nitro. I think you lose a lot of the idiosyncrasies and a little bit of the flavor on an IPA when it goes into nitro.
Well, that's a totally different story.
Yeah?
But
Okay, cool.
an
We'll talk about
IPA,
it. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Some of the
Oh, don't.
When-
man.
You better get a bump ready. This thing's
You're
on
gonna
its
get me in
last
trouble.
legs.
when is somebody coming out with the triple and quadruple IPA? I mean, when are we going to
wait.
get? We got the doubles out there.
Well, some would argue ours is 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, our Imperial IPA is 10%.
Oh, my
What does that
gosh.
mean? I'm so confused. I'm like Dan.
Stand by.
I
Still,
No,
still
you're
you need a
clearly
bump,
more
French?
confused than I am.
That's beautiful.
Shoot, place called Monty's. Philly cheesesteaks. Monty's.
I think what happened
curious.
there, Brian Schafer's, I think Pete just hit you up for a ride, is what it was. Off air, Pete asked if he's near what, Lincoln Square? That's where you live?
you just drop me off over there, please.
You're going that way?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, if it's not today, I could just stay in your garage or something.
1090, great beers and Uber.
Of course, we're nerds for many things on the show. Beer is one of them, and of course, German founders of electronic music. Kraftwerk is the other. We never stop with that. What were we asking before the break? Yes, the next, what do you predict? The next sensation in beer. I kind of foolishly intimated that maybe we'd get tired of IPAs, and you know, it was smart. It's like, yeah, we're not going to get tired of it. It's too damn good. We don't get tired of pizza. So what may be the next thing? At least
Oh, you're asking me?
I'm asking you.
The next
I'm not asking
evolution.
these clowns.
The next evolution of craft beer. What's
Yeah.
next?
Well, you know, a lot of people think sours.
Sour.
Okay.
We brew several sours. They're great. They're huge. China.
Dude,
Spectacular.
Good.
But sours
God.
sours are very idiosyncratic.
Yeah.
I don't see them
Yeah.
surpassing anything.
It's just going to be a
small.
thing
Yeah.
for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm tasting ingredients like basil and some of the beers when I go to places. That was kind of interesting
Honey and
to have
basil,
on my
a
palate.
lot of people are doing that now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
You guys get out a hell of a lot more than I do, I got to tell you.
This now 90 Feet from Heaven. That's the IPA that we're
Oh
drinking
my
right
gosh,
now.
it's
This is delicious.
delicious. Oh my
I got to get there.
God.
Don't
Tell
drink
us
it
a
all,
little
boys.
bit. What am I tasting on this? In this beer.
Beer.
Well, first off, it's a beautiful color.
Yes.
That's what I really like about it. Like,
No
you see
kidding.
a lot of these IPAs, and they definitely nail the pale
If anything
side
ever
of it.
happens to my wife, I need a woman that color. Funny? Too much?
That's how beautiful that is.
It really is.
Yeah, we brew this with some crystal malt, crystal 40, crystal 20, pale ale, carapils. I'm boring you here with details.
No, please.
That's what you're here for.
You're in the right place if you don't think you're boring people. Okay, if you think that's boring, what do you think is not boring about beer then? Because that's what we're here to talk about after all. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I mean...
You know what I think is cool about
3.
their website
What's
is
that?
you go on there and you see the beers they have listed,
Yeah.
and then you see foods, appetizers,
Pairings?
entrees, pairings, cheese, even desserts that pair well with food. We talk about where craft beer is going. I think that's a big part of it, knowing what foods to pair with your
You're
beer.
telling me I can enhance this incredibly delicious liquid right here?
You could.
It's important.
But wait, there's more.
In the interest of responsible drinking, which we should be, you got to get some food in your belly.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
really do. Otherwise, you're going to have entirely too many beers. At least I am going to have entirely too many beers. I have to cut it because I can either have 12 and be a disaster to my life and in my own life and my family and those around me, or I can have 2, 3, 4 maybe and have a good meal in between.
Me and Sonar, we like to have a good cheeseburger. Daniel, he's a little bit more of the cheese and wine kind of guy.
Okay.
So a good Asiago, maybe a smoked Gouda.
Gruyere.
Aged Manchego.
Exactly. I don't even know what that is, but that
Smoked
sounds
duck.
delicious.
You just know it's good.
That's
what
it.
you need to know. Okay. We mentioned Guinness. I think it was in the break. I'm a huge fan of Guinness, although I think I like Murphy's even more. Are there any American brewers, or have you ever considered creating a beer that is kind of like Guinness? Why don't I see anything like that in the States?
Oh, it's a stout.
Okay.
No. There are stouts.
There are?
Left Hand, their signature flagship beer is
I don't
a
know
stout.
Left Hand. Well, there you
Wasn't
have
that a
it.
milk stout?
It's
Yeah.
on nitro.
Even Bare Knuckle
great.
by Budweiser is actually pretty good.
Well, you lost me at
Well, just stouts in general are great. I'm not one of those people that have 5 or 6 of them.
No.
I mean, that's a meal in a can right there.
talk about this
Well,
beer.
see that's the funny thing. Yeah, I hear that all
Now,
the
try
time.
that, sir. Only because I'm interrupting. Only because we only have about a minute and a half left. So I have
that's
trouble with that one. And go ahead. See, now I'm a jerk. I'm a bad host. I just interrupted a salient point.
Let's just recap everything.
Let's do that.
1090 Brewing Company. Go to
10-90.com. Spell them out.
Spell it out. They're going to be at Oktoberfest, Evanston Oktoberfest in downtown Evanston. They're going to be one of many breweries that are going to be there.
Next
October
Sunday.
16th, next Sunday, a week from this Sunday. What's their address again? Where can you find it?
1025 Waukegan Road in Glenview.
30.
Got it?
Great.
1025 Waukegan Road in Glenview. Brian Schafer has been our guest. 1090 Brewing Company. Looking forward to it. I've enjoyed it. I feel like we should have talked to you earlier in the day. We've run out of time here, but that's okay. We're going to finish a couple beers, and everybody's going to get home in time to watch the game tonight. French and Friends, 1590 WCGO. See you on Monday.
Go Cubs, go!
All right.
Yeah, so this is, if you're watching the video, this is the extra little bit.
Oh, extra innings.
Because
Yes.
I
Extra
definitely
innings.
want to hear.
That's what we'll call it.
I definitely want to hear the stout is a meal stuff that you were talking about. So
Sure.
everybody says that because to me, you can have a half and half or a snake bite or anything like that. You throw cider or anything else to a stout, and that may prolong me drinking more of them. But really, 3 or 4 stouts, and I can't
Sure.
handle it anymore.
Oh, well, I
so
can't.
is that what you were saying with it being a meal?
Well, no. My point is back to the sourness of like lemonade with sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a mind thing. There are less calories in a Guinness than a Budweiser.
Lovely.
Really?
It's less alcohol, less calories.
Okay.
So it's
So-
just a myth.
It's a mouthfeel thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Because it feels like you got the...
we were speaking about this
viscous.
earlier about the nitro. Exactly. It is more viscous. So Guinness is on nitrogen, which is smaller bubbles than carbon dioxide. So it feels smoother, silkier, heavier, denser.
Okay.
I guess.
And
okay.
and you're looking at a dark liquid, so your mind's telling you, "Oh my God, this
Yeah.
is a meal in a glass."
And people will tell me it has a coffee taste. I don't really feel that. I don't taste
You're
that.
getting it from bad pipes, then, man. It's-
What I'm saying is, people will say that. Oh, that's too
Yeah.
coffee-like. That's too. It's dessert. Like you said, it's heavy. It's thick. It's a meal. Yeah, perception. It's just the perception.
That's
That's
the-
it is a
fascinating.
Because
perception.
when I went to Scotland, they had 3 different types of Guinness on there, and Guinness Extra Cold, brewed cold, shipped cold, poured cold, everything like that. I think like 30-something degrees, something around there. And that was one of the most delicious things I've ever put in my mouth.
Huh.
Like, it's literally milk. Like, you get that really milk-heavy feel to
Okay.
it, and it was just... and then it had a light finish so that you didn't have that heaviness. And I was pounding them.
I bet you were. Brian,
go.
Brian Schafer's our guest, brewmaster, head honcho at 1090 Brewing Company.
Night cleanup boy.
Night clean. You do it all? You still doing it
He's
all?
a small business owner,
Head
man. You
dishwasher.
gotta do
No,
everything.
that's my title, night cleanup boy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's for taxes, right?
Hey now,
You know what? Let's give a shout out to small business owners for a minute.
I don't pay taxes.
Hey.
I'm smart.
Oh, there is a certain brilliance in that. If you're doing it right, you shouldn't be, but that's a whole nother story altogether. It's very difficult these days, this day and age, and I've worked for people, especially in the radio business, which has been just the guts have been ripped out of radio and broadcasting, and it's come to the TV now. My friends in TV are realizing it, but I would get a lot of anger as the right-hand man to someone about the boss. These are people, including me, you've never written checks to people before. You don't know how hard it is to keep the lights on.
Making payroll.
Making
Sure
your
payroll,
people
dude.
are paid.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Making payroll.
I mean, I'm sure when you first got started, there were times where you didn't write a check to yourself. You had to write them all out
sure.
to pay the bills and to pay your employees.
Yeah. Makes
I
you-
wouldn't mind
you have any
getting
children?
paid in this IPA, though.
I've got 3 children.
Oh, good man.
Yeah.
Okay, I got something we haven't hit yet. San Francisco boy. Did we just nail it? I asked you if you had kids. Is that why you're in Chicago? Is it a girl? Or no?
No, I've been here for a long time.
Okay. When did you first come to Chicago?
I moved here just before high school.
Oh, okay, okay.
Chicago's home.
I see. Yeah, it really
Okay.
is. But your formative years were
My
as a young
sporting
boy.
allegiances were firmly cemented by the time I moved here.
That's a tough game last night,
Hey,
then, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was
the
last night.
49ers got walked on by the
I-
Cardinals.
It was close for a
I
little
went
bit.
to bed about 9 o'clock because I was falling asleep,
Yeah.
and I knew they weren't going to win.
I have an
Yeah.
important.
So call me a fair weather fan because
No,
you know
I
what?
understand.
Hey, it's better to watch in fair weather.
It's been many a times that
And I stopped paying for the NFL ticket because I'm like, why am I paying $300 to watch them lose every week? This is stupid.
I have to ask you a question. There is an ingredient. What is in this particular beer? We're drinking 90 Feet from Heaven. We're speaking with Brian Schafer, 1090 Brewing Company in Glenview, 10-90.com. Can you tell me what's in here? Because I have noticed there is one ingredient in a couple of different beers that when it hits me, I either have an allergy or it triggers some sort of acid flashback from college. And I'm not even kidding. For real. There's something. I
It's
drink.
only IPAs, too.
No,
for
this
some
is
reason. This is a...
90
Well,
feet.
I'm not seeing an allergic reaction
No,
right
no, no.
now, so
It's
it must be
not
the
that.
acid flashback.
I freely admit that. I'm an open book, my friend.
No,
But
you know what it is?
I smell it though. It's your boy Fogarty got me one time
Well,
with it.
that's the thing. IPAs traditionally have a little bit more
But this is a
alcohol
blend.
in
You
it.
told me this is a blend. This has IPA in it, but it's not an IPA exclusively.
No.
No, it is
IPA stands for India Pale Ale.
Yeah.
So
Been drinking Sierra Nevada since I was 17, but okay. Yes, I know that. But is this an IPA?
But yeah,
That's just an IPA.
So the history
I thought I heard
behind,
you say there was a mix, or was that in the Oktoberfest? There was a little bit.
No,
Which can't be.
No, so the history behind IPAs is they
Please.
had to spice it up just a little bit more, and also fermentation was a little bit longer when they shipped it across because it was from England to India, so they had to make sure that it wasn't skunky by the time that it went over there.
It was for shipping purposes.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's why there's
Shipping
a little
purposes.
bit of spice, and that's why it's also a larger one.
That's right. Hops are a natural preservative.
Yes, sir.
So for the beer to make it to the voyage to India, they had to over-hop it.
It's the packing peanuts of beer.
So when the soldiers and bureaucrats matriculated back to England and started asking, hey, where's the beer we were drinking in India?
Yeah.
The brewers started scratching their head and were like, well, I guess we could release this on the home market. India
cool.
Pale Ale.
Who was the first in the States? I love talking about 1090, but I love the history, too. You have the knowledge. Who really kicked it off with IPA? I mean, because the one that showed itself to me and my friends was, Sierra Nevada. But who was really at it first?
Wow. Now
That's okay.
You got me at a loss.
But what are some? Okay, then what are some of the legends?
Sierra Nevada is a pale ale. It's not an IPA.
Oh,
really?
That's right.
So
it's different.
The difference, it's a subtle difference.
Okay.
Most people don't know the difference, but
I'm right in the middle of the bell curve, buddy.
IPAs have a stronger malt backbone.
Okay.
So there's a bit more malt in IPAs. So you hear APAs now, American Pale Ale, Sierra Nevada Pale
And then
Ale.
malt is sugar and therefore higher alcohol.
Higher sugar, but more crystal malts to make it a bit more amber and give you more flavor and caramelization.
Yeah. And it's delicious. Oh my God!
What am I smelling here?
Something just occurred to me, guys.
What is the flavor that I'm smelling?
We've got a blend of hops in
Okay.
here. So the hops are. You talk about IPAs now. You got East Coast IPAs, you got West Coast IPAs, you've got English IPAs. West Coast is really citrusy, tropical.
Okay.
East Coast is more piney, and now they're going crazy with the cloudiness.
Okay.
English is more malt-driven, less bitter. All American versions are more bitter, more hops.
Okay.
Hey, Mike.
We're kind of in the middle. We got a bit of pine, a lot of tropical citrus in there.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it is. It's the citrus. What is that? It's not orange.
No, there's no fruit in this beer.
Okay.
But you get that from the hops. So,
Okay.
Simcoe is one of the hops we're using that has nice citrusy grapefruit
Okay.
flavors and
And
aromas.
that's usually IPA is a grapefruit kind of taste to it.
Yes.
So you're saying on the West Coast they use a bit more hops than that?
They're using more of the citrusy hops.
Okay.
On the West Coast.
Okay.
On the East Coast, there are hops that have more pine and resiny flavors to them, and that's where if you hear East Coast IPA, they're using more pine resiny.
Pete over here. I said, Pete, why don't you ask a question, okay? And his question turned out to be, can I get more beer? Which is the best question that any of us have asked so far. Oh, my God, that was so funny.
And the answer is absolutely at 1025 Waukegan Road in
1025
downtown Glenview.
Thank you,
That's
sir. 1025 Waukegan Road in downtown Glenview. Brian Schafer is our guest, brewmaster, night cleanup boy at 1090 Brewing Company. It's been a blast. I mean, we good?
We've had a
Good.
great
Brian,
Thanks a lot for having me.
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for coming on.
Looking forward to seeing you next weekend as well.
Excellent. Cheers.
Good day.
Salut.